What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone. Presented by Brock. He's in the other room watching a row your boat. But fired up. What's up, everybody? Hope you all having a great Sunday. Man, really looks nasty outside right now. Row your boat on mommy's phone. Yep. There, daddy's fake coughing. Bo Major, Mark Landry, what's up? Trivia Carter, good morning. Brady Smith, good morning. Sean Gasser, good morning. So, Tigers lose game 3 to Auburn yesterday. My goodness, a game they had won. But as they say in baseball, it's not over until the final out is recorded. That ended up being the case yesterday, so that is a bummer, man. It's a bummer, man. Dag nabbit. So Tigers finished the regular season 17-13 in the conference. Would have really liked to have gotten that one yesterday, because if you get to 18, you are a virtual lock for a regional host. Anyway. 17 and a win in Hoover should do it. And you play South Carolina, and South Carolina is really bad. South Carolina only won one SEC weekend all season. They finished 8-22 in the conference. So that means Kentucky and Alabama, both at 7-23, missed the tournament, but South Carolina at 8-22 gets in. This was a terrible year for South Carolina. If any team was more decimated on the pitching staff than LSU, it was South Carolina. This is a game, especially if Cole Henry starts, there is no excuse for LSU to lose to South Carolina. The one thing that gives you pause is that while South Carolina was 8-22 and they were really bad this year, and they're the last team in the tournament, it's that 8. They still managed to win 8 games against SEC teams. So it's baseball and anything's possible, but I think for LSU to feel really good about a regional host, excuse me, you got to at least go beat South Carolina. Excuse me. We went to Fresh Market yesterday, bud. Off. Okay. Wow. Val Browning, what's up, man? Val, glad you're going to be with us on the bus tour. Man, I haven't checked this morning. So the Magical Beer Tour, I checked yesterday. I'll check right now how many tickets are remaining. We've got, let's see. There's only 14 remaining. So there's only 14 spots left on our bus tour. So if y'all want to come, you may want to sign up now, because it's probably going to sell out. Certainly, if not by the end of the day today, early next week. All right, let's see. Let's get into some of y'all's questions. Also, great news: Javonte Smart returning, completely expected. And I expect Marlon Taylor and Emmett Williams and Skylar Mays will all follow suit. So Will Wade's going to be able to build his roster. And then we're also going to find out tomorrow, Monday, about Trendon Watford, the 5-star forward out of Alabama, who I think everyone expects is going to pick LSU. So Will Wade's going to start building that roster for next year. So the arrow's pointing up for Will Wade. And obviously after Naz Reid at the Combine on Thursday said as definitively as you can possibly say, there was no deal. It didn't happen. That gives Will even more of a boost. Lance Richard, good morning. Angel Tompkins, good morning. Carl the Cat, hey Robbie, good morning, dude. Dale Broussard, John Call, Robbie, good morning. Disappointing loss. It's disappointing to lose. It's definitely disappointing how they lost. Hess gave up. So, by the way, full disclosure, yesterday I emceed the Baton Rouge Oyster Festival, which was downtown. Awesome day, man. Shout out to our guys, Eric Carnegie and Chris Brooks and all the guys that put on the Oyster Festival. What a day. Open and shut. Open and shut.
Home Depot.
You love Home Depot?
I believe so.
You want to say hi to that show?
Cut.
You go ride in a cart at Albertsons? Okay.
Go Home Depot.
Who takes you to Home Depot?
Mama.
Mama takes you to Home Depot. Yes, she does.
Mimi's house.
Well, you do go to Mimi's house, too. Did you go to Mimi's house yesterday?
No, Mimi's house.
Yes, you went to Mimi's house.
No,
No Mimi's house. Okay, no Mimi's house.
No, thank you.
No, he said no, thank you. No Mimi's house. No, thank you. Mimi might be watching, Drew. You can hurt her feelings if you say that. Jeremy Aldridge, good morning. Big Block what?
Big Block Daddy.
Big Block on Daddy's phone. Okay, you can watch Big Block on Daddy's phone later.
Row Daddy.
Row your boat on Daddy's phone. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Oyster Fest yesterday. Bunch of bands: Jay and the Causeways, Adam Dale, Merriweather, Soul Rebels Brass Band, and Toad the Wet Sprocket headline last night, all in Galvez Plaza in Baton Rouge. Man, it was awesome day. So many people out there. I would guess by the time the day ended, you probably had 10, 15,000 people roll through Galvez Plaza. Probably more than that, like just throughout the day. But by the end of the day, when Toad played, it was packed. It was awesome. Anyway, those guys did a totally free festival. It was awesome day, and I am seated. So it was a long day, but what I'm telling you all that just so you know, I only got to watch parts of the baseball game. I followed along on my phone the whole game, but actually to just sit there and watch it was tough. So I'll try to catch up some today, but. How you lost the game obviously stinks with Hess, blowing the save. He goes and gets the first out in the ninth, and then he walks the batter and gives up the homer. Maneri said after the game he'd go back to him 100 times out of 100, and honestly, that's the right decision. I've seen somebody on Twitter today was like, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over, expecting different results. The difference is Hess has given you great results doing that before, and even as much as it pains me to say this. The greatest closer in the history of baseball, Mariano Rivera, blew a save in Game 7 of the World Series in 2001 against the Diamondbacks. Does it mean it was the wrong decision to go to Mariano Rivera in that situation? Does it mean that if you were presented with the same situation again, you wouldn't go to Rivera? No, he blew a save, and the other guy swung the bat and got a hit. It happens. And I understand Zach Hess isn't Mariano Rivera. I do understand that. But if he's your closer and situationally you feel like he gives you the best chance to, if he's your closer and you feel like situationally he gives you the best chance to get those final outs, then you go to him. And if the other guy puts a good swing on a pitch and to him. So, by the way, can y'all still hear my AirPods just made like a little disconnect sound, so I'm gonna make sure y'all can still hear me. Anyway, so I had no problem going to Hess there if Hess is your guy. It's in part though why I can kind of understand you don't want to pitch a guy in back-to-back days. I mean, it matters. Fatigue matters. The opponent seeing your guy matters. We went through this earlier in the year with Devin Fontenot. It matters. So anyway. Let's see. Leroy Blanchard, good morning. Jerry Spurgeon, good morning. Scone, nice to see Bama finish last in the West at something. There you go, bro. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jeremy Aldridge, awesome 13-inning thriller for the softball team. Great win. I saw that as well. Congrats to Beth Torina and the gang. Dale Broussard, damn strong offer coming back. Coming back for year number 2. Javante, I got you. It is big to get him back, man, in a big way. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Javante. I'm excited for LSU basketball. Willie the Giant, but you've got, you got. What am I looking for? You got a lot of reason to be optimistic about basketball, with Zion coming to New Orleans, with I think LSU probably getting Trendon Watford, Javante coming back. I think they're going to get more guys back as well. It's exciting. What am I looking for? Sorry, y'all. I was looking for something. Oh, I was looking for the left on base. Where is it? I was looking to see how many guys LSU left on base. Here you go. Yeah, there it is. I knew it was a bunch. 11. LSU left 11 runners on base yesterday. Ugh. That'll do it. I mean, I feel good, honestly, yesterday. I feel good for the seniors. Brant Broussard came up with a big hit late in the game. Scored Chris Reed, who was on second base. I feel good for Chris Reed. We talked about him yesterday. Reed had been really fighting it, man. And he just went 1 for 4 yesterday, but he had an RBI. He did have a walk. He had the double, so he was on second base and he scored on Broussard's hit. Broussard's another one, a senior, had been struggling. So, man, it was nice to see that Duplantis had a couple of hits yesterday. He was 2 for 5. So it was nice to see the seniors get a chance to play and play well, and you really would have loved for them to finish it, man. God dog it. In the grand scheme, LSU can overcome, like, the pitch. The thing we haven't talked about yet either is the pitching plan, what they did on the mound. And so I like it. In a sense, it was a whole staff approach, but you went Fontenot, Beck, Hilliard, Peterson, Hess. Like, those are your best arms. So, yeah, you whole staffed it, but it was much different than a midweek whole staff. I'm chuckling a little because, like, that can work, but that only works if you save those arms in the first 2 days of the weekend. So that only works if you got really good starting pitching the first 2 days. And you got that from Walker and from Marceau, and you need to keep getting that. But more importantly, you need to get Henry back healthy. My feeling on that hadn't changed at all. Like, if they get Cole Henry back healthy, they can beat anybody. Like, they can win a weekend at the box. They can go on the road and win a weekend against anybody. They can go to Omaha and they can win games. If they have their ace pitching like he was at his height this year. If not, then they could very easily lose a regional. I mean, just like, they lost a game this weekend, and now, like, if this were a regional, and like, say yesterday, go back to 2014, right? In 2014, when you had Aaron Nola and you had Houston in here, you won the first 2 games. Houston had to come back and beat you twice. You had him beat. You blew the game. You had to come back on that Monday, and our friend Alden Cartwright started that game and had a really rough first inning, and Houston never looked back. I mean, that's what happens when you don't have depth in your starting pitching. So, that could happen to this team. If they don't get Henry back, that could happen to this team in a regional. All right, let's see. Let's get to you. I'll shut up. Well, not really shut up. I can't shut up, because if I shut up, then we have dead silence. I'll remind you about Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Please share the post if you've not done that yet. Sharing is caring. So cheers to all of you who shares out there. All right, let's see. Matt Kernan, Sandra Richard, good morning. Angel Tompkins, how about that Oyster Fest, though? It was awesome. It really was. For anybody who came out, I got to meet a ton of people yesterday. I mean, I was there for 12 hours. So from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. But really, I mean, And so the guys that put on Oyster Fest, Eric Carnegie, like their group are the group that owns Happy's and Bum Steers, the new place on Perkins with the rooftop, the restaurant with the rooftop bar, Bengal Tap Room downtown, Jilly Pearl. So I mean, they're doing a ton for business downtown. You know what I mean? And I actually graduated Catholic with Eric as well. So really good guy. Just you know, and they did so much legwork to put that thing on and make it a free festival. So I just really respect, you know, guys that just pull together events like that. It was awesome. Tara Shelton, good morning. Joseph Manzella, good morning. Grant Bayon, Ben Love, what's up, B-Lo? Good morning, dude. Taylor Termini was at the game yesterday, seeing the ump send back the Auburn runner over the missed catch by Watson was one of the oddest things I've ever seen. I don't know. I didn't get an explanation on that. Again, like I was following that part on Twitter. Apparently, like Watson missed the catch, and they like the runner never stopped. They sent him. I'm with you. I'd want an explanation too. But I wish I could help you. I can't. The oddest thing that I remember seeing is LSU playing at Alabama in 2001, and only Skip Bertman could have gotten this. There was an Alabama player that Skip appealed to third because he said the guy missed the bag, and they called him out, and it ended up being a close game, like maybe a one-run game, and that ended the game. And the Bama people melted, but that was at Sewell Thomas in 01. But like they say, go out to the ballpark, you'll always see something. There's a chance you'll see something you've never seen before. Charles Moranto, Tyler Hales, what's up, man? Ben Clark, Caleb LaBeouf. Let's see, good morning. I've been missing the morning scone. Work has kept me pinned down. Tyler, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse to miss morning scone for work or otherwise. And even if you have to be at work or you have some extenuating circumstance, like loss of limb that would cause you to miss morning scone, which is probably the only thing that would be acceptable. But you can always come back and watch it later because it's here. It lives on my Facebook page forever, never, 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 never. So always come back and watch it. Scott Kusia, good morning. Trivia: did anybody watch the Wilder Brazil fight last night? Amazing first round knockout. I did not. Again, I was at Oyster Fest all day, but I saw the picture of the knockout. Did Brian Robert, first morning scone in a while. Shout out. Had a new baby. Been up since 4 a.m. Lots of coffee and some morning juice. There you go, Brian. Appreciate that, man. Shout out and congrats to you and your family, man. Hope all is well with baby Robert. Todd Turo, good morning. Sean Walsh, Stephen Mentz, good morning. Joe Ed Kettner, good morning. Bob Poole, good morning. While we still have power. I know, man. It looks nasty out there. I don't know if it's supposed to be bad all day, but it looks bad right now. Kevin Harrell, Mark Allen. Good morning, Brian Robert. Can we expect Henry or Hill to get back in the rotation during the SEC tournament? Then potential starting for the NCAA tournament. Henry, yes, and Paul Maneri even alluded to that yesterday. He said he's very hopeful that they'll get those guys back for the tournament, for the SEC tournament. I think the ideal situation, and I think this is how, if Cole Henry feels good, ride the elevator. Drew, come. Yay.
1, 2, 3, big boy.
1, 2, 3, big boy. Hey, let me fix your cord. Let me see. Thank you for that is very good listening, baby. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. I love you. Very good listening. Let's see. So I think best case scenario is you start Cole Henry on Tuesday against South Carolina. 40 pitches, somewhere around there, just to get him back on the bump, with the idea that if he throws on Tuesday, then theoretically, if you get to the weekend, he might be able to give you the same thing Saturday or Sunday. Probably Saturday, because you'd want to give him a week so that he could potentially start the marble game of a regional the following weekend. but you wouldn't want him to go you certainly wouldn't want to extend him right back. I think you almost approach it like the start of a season where you give him the ball, you say, okay, and maybe the first time, like, okay, give me 40 or 50 pitches. The next time, maybe it's like 60 or 70. And then by the time you get to, like, regionals, sorry, let's see if you can extend a bit. And maybe extending would be 5 or 6 innings. And if that's it, okay. But if your starter, hey, come see me. Come see me. Can you please use your words and tell me what you want? Hey, Drew. Hey, I have a question for you. After Dad show, we'll get dressed and we'll go to... Where do you want to go? Go for a ride in the car? Drew. Hey. After Dad show. Go where? Do you want to go to Albertsons? What was that face? You want to go to Alexander's? In Mommy's car. Okay. Wow. Okay. So anyway, Brian, I think I would love, and then as far as Hill, I think realistically for Hill, you're looking at him as a bullpen arm, but I'll take it. If you got another guy that can come out of the bullpen and throw 97, here's my ideal situation for Jaden Hill. Here, you ready? Chad Jones. Be a guy. Remember, Chad Jones came out of the bullpen. I think Chad Jones threw 9 innings all season. But in the postseason, now granted, Chad Jones was coming from the left side. Like he was bringing 93 from the left side. Okay, so that's a little different. Obviously, because you can go get a situational lefty that could throw 93. But if Jaden Hill's a guy that come out of the bullpen and give you an inning here or a batter there and chuck it 97, 98 with his filthy stuff. Albertsons, okay.
Go from okay.
Well, do you want to go to Albertsons or Fresh Market? And then go Fway Mulkey. Okay. That's crazy. That would be my ideal situation for Jaden Hill. And then it's another arm. I mean, imagine yesterday if Hess gives up the lead in the 9th and you go back out for the 10th and you give the ball to Jaden Hill instead of bringing Hess back out. I like that. Or in the 11th. I mean, I like that option. Again, it's another really good arm to have that option. Yesterday, as you were piecing together your whole staff, Jaden Hill could have been part of that. Maybe Hill was the second guy out instead of Fontenot. Instead of Beck. Or maybe Hill starts it and then gives it to Fontenot to Beck, right? So, I don't know. Let's see. Kyle Larison, Andrew Bayer, Mitzi and Tony Bonadonna, good morning. Ryan Broussard, Caleb LeBuff. Stephen Miller, what's up, dude? Eusebio, Kerry Montz, good morning. Manny. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said it, and it best describes Zach Hess. When he's good, he's very, very good. When he's bad, he's horrid. Players need to step up. Sick of it's Pulmonari's fault and the coaches. I didn't see Pulmonary throw that lollipop curve. The guy hit for 2-run homer. That would be Zach Hess. All day long. Hello, Mimi. Tiger. Roar. Did you roar like a tiger? Hey, Drew, can you say morning? Scone. Presented by Brock, indeed. The Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Drew.
No poop.
He said.
No poop.
No poop? Okay. He just said poo-poo diaper. Hey, Drew. Drew, do you have poo-poo diaper? I can't believe I just said that. Oh my god. I'm sure you all needed that as part of your Sunday morning coffee with Drew saying, poop would I be? And then he went, that was like, Drew, he went, no poop. Oh, man. Hey, look, Manny, in part I agree with you. I mean, players have to execute. The coaches put their player, like, you make the decisions to manage a game how you see best fit. And I have no problem going to Hess in the ninth. I have no problem with it. He's your closer. He's your guy. I get it. Go to your guy. It's also okay for the other players to make good plays too. And yes, Hess walked the guy with one out. That's terrible. The home run doesn't hurt you without a guy on first. So, in that respect, I completely agree with you. But you also got to tip your cap to the Auburn kid who put a good swing on a pitch. I mean, he could have missed it. Could have fouled it back. Could have popped it up. He hit it over the fence. Let's see. Tim Roussel, Blaine Allen, Perry Welsh. Mouth. Grits. Go to Fresh Market. And Albertsons. Go to Fresh Market. Off. Woo. I mean, Manny, how about like the 11 runners that LSU left on base? I mean, can we talk about that too? The fact that your 4 spot should have been an 8. I mean, and it shouldn't have even mattered in the 9th. Anyway. Perry Welsh. So it's not Palmineri's fault to have 0 left-handed arms. These are college players who choose to play at LSU. Palmineri blames too many of his players when he needs to take the hit. Perry, we've talked about that a bunch this year, man. And they signed left-handed arms. So look, I mean, some part of that is, Easton McMurray's the left-handed arm you had this year, who's done for the season. Had a high school injury, carried over on the shelf for the year. Cabrera signed and was expected to be a guy that gave you innings from the left side. He's become too valuable otherwise to pitching. You had guys, and we've been over this 100 times. You had guys like John Kodros and, just lefties on staff. But you had 3 guys return to school you weren't expecting. And then you had a bunch of players that were bonus babies actually show up that you didn't expect, like Landon Marceau turning down $1.3 million, or Cole Henry and Jaden Hill. So I'd ask you this. Would you rather Landon Marceau or John Kodros? Would you rather Cole Henry or Blair Frederick? Would you rather Jaden Hill or what was the kid's name? Nowak? Wasn't he a lefty too? Brandon Nowak. You see my point? Like, the staff made the decision, like, of course it's unorthodox, it's atypical, but do you want a left-handed arm that throws 85 just so you have a lefty? Or would you rather the kid that turned down $1.3 million who throws 94 with commands 3 pitches and is going to be a weekend dude for you, right? I understand your point. It's atypical. I've never seen it, but part of it's been injury, and part of it's been they made the decision when they had a roster crunch because of guys returning. When Hess, Watson, Duplantis all returned, it was 3 roster spots that they thought would be open that weren't. So you got to go roster crunch. What? Daniel again. Woo. You want Daniel Tiger? You want Daniel Tiger? Okay. Okay, let's see Daniel Tiger. I'll be right back, y'all. Let me see if I can put this on for them. Drew, you want Daniel Tiger in here? You want Elmo? Which Elmo do you want? You want Music Magic? No? And 40 of y'all are still hanging on, so thank you for that. Appreciate that, as always. If you have not yet done so, if you'd hit the share button, that is a huge help, as always. And shout out to our friends at Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. All the subspecialties, man, they do them all. And they're open on the weekends, too, so I know the weather's nasty, but if y'all are out and about playing, you got kids playing softball or baseball or soccer tournaments or whatever it may be, or maybe you're doing ancient athletes and you got that injury, they do sports medicine, elbows, feet, ankles, hands, wrists, all of the hips, knees, you can see it there, shoulders, spine, they do all of it. You do the MRI and the x-ray there in-house at Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They're awesome, man. Drew sees Dr. Brad Collada over there. I mean, I've seen enough Brock docs over the time. I've seen Dr. Faraci for my neck. I've seen Chip Bankston for my knee, for my back. I mean, if you get injured, man, go see Brock. They're the best. Let's see. James Tyrone, what's up, man? Denny Landry, good morning. Brandon Brownie, good morning, dude. Galoshes, very good, Drew. Galoshes on mommy's phone. Galoshes. Is that the word of the day? The word of the day is galoshes. Row, row, row your boat on mommy's phone. Row your boat on daddy's phone. Okay. I like those jammies with all the puppy dogs on them. It's a good job, bud. He's pretty fired up now. James Morgan, LSU softball plays today to advance. I'm going to watch it for sure. I'm fired up for it. Fired up for Beth and her squad. Look, I know Oklahoma this year just looks invincible, and like they've got more perfect games than they do losses. It's crazy. And I think UCLA is really good this year too. But I'm telling you, eventually, like it's going to happen at some point. Like LSU with Beth Tarina, they're going to keep going to Oklahoma City, and eventually they're going to get into that tournament in Oklahoma City, and they're going to win it. They're going to win the national championship. Robert, or row your boat.
And then Robert. Okay.
And then row your boat. Okay.
Robert.
And then Robert.
Okay.
Okay.
Go mommy's car to Robert.
Go to mommy's car to Robert?
And then go mommy's car to Isaac.
And then go to mommy's car to Alexander's. Okay, we'll do that. And go to Fresh Market. Off. Somebody got a droopy diaper in there too, bro. Somebody was lying earlier when he said no poop. Let's see. Douglas Duhan, what's up? Joseph Manzella, who starts for LSU Tuesday? My guess on that is going to be Cole Henry. I was wrong yesterday. I thought Todd Peterson would start. It was Fontenot. Fontenot pitched 2 great innings to start. I mean, they didn't touch him for 2 innings, and they just handed it off to the next guy. But I think in a perfect world, they'd start Cole Henry to get him back on the mound. And if he's available for a relief outing or a short start over the weekend, if they advance that far, cool. If not, you give him, he pitches a sim game, and then he starts in the regional, provided he still feels good. But I think Cole Henry's your guy. And they've already said they'd move Walker up to Wednesday and Marceau up to Thursday. So each one of those guys pitches on 1 day shorter rest. So if they advance Tuesday, you're guaranteed 2 more games because it's double elimination. So 1, 2, 3, home to see mommy. Whoa. Row your boat on daddy's phone. What are you doing?
Mama, Papa, Bimo, Kaya, Annie,
Maria. Who'd you forget?
Maria.
Who's after Maria? Maria and? Dominic. Very good.
Aiden.
And Laurel and Aiden. And now you forgot Lily and Morgan, too. You got to say Lily and Morgan, too. Okay. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Your jammies almost match Daddy's shirt on that color. See that? Is it green? Is this green? What does green mean? What is? Hey, when you see green means
Margaret.
Margaret does do your colors. Does it say go? Do you say, when we're in the car and you see green, do you say, go, 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 go? Is that what you say to Daddy? Albertsons.
Go eat haircut.
Go to Lily's haircut. Lily does give you a haircut. Shout out to Lily. That's my sister Alicia. Mona Llewell Hair Salon. Ladies, if you're looking to get your hair done, or guys, she cuts guys' hair.
Truck.
Big truck.
Mimi house.
Mimi's house.
Albert's house.
Albertsons.
Cookie.
Christy. You do see Christy at Albertsons. Very good.
Mimi house.
Mimi's house. Did you go to Mimi's house yesterday? Did you go to Mimi's house yesterday? Okay. Let's see. Jason Rogers, Josh Sonye, good morning. Hey, Carrie Hughes, good morning. Chad Dupuy, what's the mosquito repellent you use? Where can I get it? It's called the Spartan Mosquito Eradicator. If you're in Baton Rouge, you can get it at Clegg's. It comes in a box about this big. There's 2 tubes that come in it. They're about that long, about that wide, kind of like a track baton. You pop the top off of it. It's got some granules in the bottom. Pop the top, pour water up to the fill line, put it back on, hang it on your fence line. Worked great for us last year. Appetite. Blake Morgan, why not Todd Peterson? He brings a different energy. Look, Peterson started the season that role. Appetite Mommy's phone. All right. Look, I mean, they've used 3 different closers this year. Peterson started the season as the closer, and he wasn't great in that role, and Devin Fontenot was, so Fontenot became the closer. Well, of late, Fontenot struggled, and they moved Hess back to the bullpen, so now Hess is that guy. So, I'm with you, man. I think Maneri's got 3 options, and in some respects, he's just going to ride the hot hand.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Ian. Happy birthday to you.
Very good, Drew. Yay. Good singing, dude. That's some good singing, my dog. Murray. Are you watching Murray in the other room? You can go see him. Go see Murray. Let's see. James Pittman, Zachary Courtney, what's up? Hey, Dawn, good morning. Laura Melder. Mommy's phone. Hey, Ella, good morning. Storming here. Stop yawning. I'm going to go back. Sorry. You want to row your boat on Daddy's phone? Okay. Mark Wayne Demelin, good morning. Douglas Duhan, good morning. I'd rather any lefty over a unicorn like Stores and Labus. So, Douglas, in fairness, Labus pitched last year, and we knew before the season this year that he wasn't going to pitch because he had the arm injury. Stores is more of the unicorn for sure. Stores reminds me a lot of Latz. And Jake Latz may be who you're thinking of when you said Labus. You might be thinking of Latz. Latz was the lefty who was super highly touted and just never got on the ball maybe a couple of times and they never really got anything out of him. Travis Bowman Maneri has always pulled pitchers with pitches to give that are cruising. It's odd to me, but he wins a fair amount. But Travis, the flip side of that is, like, 2 nights ago, he went with Hess for 2 innings with a lead. He did the same thing last weekend with Todd Peterson last weekend. Peterson pitched 4 innings in relief. I mean, it's like, it's more of a situational thing. Paul's not by the book. I mean, that's the thing. It's not pulling pitchers with pitches to give, and I don't really subscribe to the you've got pitches to give thing. It's you have to consider a weekend as a whole, and if you feel like Zach Hess is your closer and you're in a save situation, and you feel like one guy's running out of steam and you want to go get your guy, get him. And look, when Maneri brought in Hess with 2 outs in the 8th, he got a strikeout. He did. He got his job. I mean, they brought him in situationally in the eighth to get the guy to play because I'm sure they had the advanced metrics where they showed Hess probably had better success against this guy than Peterson did. So, and I don't know. I'm guessing that's the case. So when got Hess, got him, and then he got strikeout to start the ninth. I mean, it was like, all right, he's cruising. Then walk homer. Neil Ripley. Obviously, South Carolina isn't that good, but they have one pitcher that could give the team trouble. Neil, no, honestly. South Carolina is one of those teams that has lost everybody. I mean, they are the most decimated team that I've ever seen. I mean, they are. God bless them, man. They're just. It's one of those years where they weren't talented to begin with, and they lost every pitcher that matters to them. So. But here the flip side of it is, y'all, they beat Mississippi State yesterday 10-8, and that's how they got in the tournament because they finished 8-22. So it's baseball. Anything can happen. But if you're wondering, like, is it like Kentucky, right? So Kentucky stunk this year. Kentucky was 26-29, 7-23 in the league. Kentucky was awful. But Kentucky had Zach Thompson. And Zach Thompson was capable of beating anybody because he's a lefty that throws 97. I mean, like, yeah, they don't have that guy. South Carolina doesn't have that guy. What, bud? Okay. He just locked me in. And now he's upset because he can't get in. Drew, did you lock me in? Push. You goofball. Did you lock Daddy in the office? You were grinning like a goose. You silly.
Mimi's house.
Mimi's house.
Drew's house.
This is Drew's house. Very good.
What about Daddy's?
Row your boat on Daddy's phone. Let's see. Some of y'all said. Sorry. Hey, okay, okay, take that. Frank, good morning. Craig, good morning. Brady Beacon, good morning. There you go. Henry stays healthy. Level of surprise if LSU makes it to Omaha. Matt, it's from Matt Lucio. Matt, if Henry stays healthy, like, here's what I would see happening. Like, let's play this hypothetical with me. If Henry pitches the Marble game and is a dude, I think you start Marceau on Friday for regional. You start Henry in the Marble match, game 2, and then you start Walker in the championship on game 3. And I think it's very realistic to think LSU wins a regional with that. Okay, now you got to bear with me and keep in mind that we're saying Henry is who he was against Mississippi State, and he's Cole Henry again, okay? You advance. Now, who you play matters, but theoretically, you advance and you go Cole Henry game 1, Eric Walker game 2, Landon Marceau game 3. Can that win you a weekend? Can it win you a weekend? Can you win 2 games with those 3 on the mound, pitching how they pitched of late? Can you win a weekend? Now, I know who you play matters and matchup matters and where you go and all, but is it plausible? Is it plausible to think that Henry, Walker, Marceau, with Hess, Fontenot, Peterson, Hilliard, Beck, all in the bullpen? Is it plausible to think that can win you a weekend? I mean, I think so. I think you can win a weekend. I mean, you went on the road and beat Mississippi State, which is a top 10 team. You 2 out of 3. You beat A&M this year 2 out of 3, and they've got some studs. I mean, yeah, sure they can. I mean, but again, I'll continue. Gosh, but I'll continue to say that is contingent upon. Okay, I knew you hit the button.
And they're gone.
Bubble jump in mommy's phone. But I will continue to say that is contingent, as I've said all along and been consistent with this, that is contingent upon Cole Henry returning and being Cole Henry. If he's not, then no. Dr. O on mommy's phone. Ride the elevator. And be patient. The thing that you can't do is if you don't have Cole Henry and you only have 2 pitchers and you have to whole staff it, the problem is what happens if you drop one, which is certainly possible, then you don't have an option in game 4. Like you're starting Chase Costello. I mean, starting Clay Moffitt. I mean, so my point is, and nothing against those guys, when you're in a regional field and that's your next option, now you're in trouble. Let's see. Some Hayden Tossan read where Hill won't be back. So this is, all right. Hayden said Hill won't be back. Okay. AJ Holland. Good morning, Dana Abear. Again, that's part of the issue with me being out for 12 hours yesterday, but completely out of pocket. I didn't read that. So if Maneri said that yesterday, I missed it, and that's a bummer. Now you haven't had him all year, so we had him for two weeks. So if you don't get him back, I mean, it would have been great luxury to have him back, but you've kind of made it this far without him. And I'll still maintain that Henry is the bigger piece. I'd love to have Hill for something, but you need Henry to be Henry again. Reese's house. Andrew Baer, how do you feel about the current lineup from fielding and hitting standpoint? Do you expect Manero to keep changing things through the postseason? Reese's house. Reese's house. Hi. Andrew, I think he's got his best defensive lineup right now. I think some guys are starting to produce, like Hal Hughes is starting to produce a little better. Garza is obviously your catcher. I'll be curious to see if he sticks with Reed at first and DH is below. So it's worked. I think he'll continue to do that. And it allows you to get Hughes' glove back into the game. I mean, you may see a spot start or a pinch hit opportunity for Dugas or Willis or DiGiacomo, or a pinch run situation for DiGiacomo to get his speed on the bases if you need a run. You need to score from second on a single or score from first on a double, and you just need a fast guy or a guy go steal a base. So, I mean, I think those bench players become role players for you. But at this point, yeah. I mean, it's possible he could give a guy a spot start if he feels a feeling about somebody. Remember, he did that with Sean Ochinko in the College World Series in 2009 in the championship game, and Ochinko had like 3 hits in that game. So sometimes Maneri plays hunches and comes up aces with him. So, but for the most part, yeah. AJ Holland didn't realize there was 2 in there. I still got 4 on the acre. Locking it down.
Twinkle.
You want Twinkle? Okay, let's see Twinkle. While I go put on Twinkle for him, y'all can see the Brock sign there. Oh, you turned it off. Well, that's your fault. Don't do that next time. Don't do that. You turn it off. You turn it off. You turn off the HSN. All right, let's watch Twinkle. Here's Twinkle. Twinkle. Twinkle, where are you? Twinkle, where are you? I'm scrolling the Sesame Street episodes and he goes, Twinkle, where are you? Rusty Seditol, hey, Dusty Revere, good morning. Ella saying good morning to Dusty. That's cute. Mom saying good morning to the son. That's what we do here at Morning Scone. We connect families. Brad Acosta, Robert Gremion, Alden Cartwright, Brittany Della Husse. Good morning, y'all. Craig Schilling, good morning. Hey, Craig, if you want the video of, so Jacques Doucet and I were singing Toad the Wet Sprockets together last night. I do a video. It's on my Instagram story, I believe. But anyway. Jason Meeks, good morning. Lenny Moss, what's up, dude? Y'all stay, yeah, I know, right? I'm waving at you, Lenny. Hey, He lives across the street. Let's see. With that many good guys in the bullpen, I'll breathe when it's over. Hey, Nancy, good morning. Joe Cox, good morning. Michael Kivlin, good morning. Brad Ellerby. This is what Paul said. Jaden Hill, on the other hand, wasn't able to throw this yet. That sucks. He won't be able to pitch this week. Okay, that sucks. Oh, well. All right. Jordan Richardson, what's up? All right, we are at the end of the comments, y'all. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Best in town, man. Great docs. I trust them. You should as well. For everything. So I've had a lot of injuries too, man. They've had me in a neck brace. They've had me in a walking boot for my Achilles. They've given me, I had to get an injection for my back. Yeah, I mean, I've had some jacked up stuff, y'all. Dr. Brad Collada, as I mentioned, takes care of Drew with pediatrics. They did my MRI there. They've done an x-ray on my neck there. Had a lot done there. Walk by the ocean earmuffs. Anyway, all right, let's go say bye to Drew, and then we'll wish you all a great Sunday. Please hit the share button if you've not done so yet. Please like Brock's page as they are tagged in this post, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, with, as it says, 5 convenient locations and 33 board-certified fellowship-trained physicians. All right, let's go say bye to Drew. Hey, Drew, who's watching Elmo Twinkle. Elmo's trying to learn how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You're a little close.
Go from
Okay, we are done with Dad's show.
And then go to
And then we're going to go to Fresh Market. Very good. Okay, hey, listen, how about this? Let's say bye, Dad show, and then we'll get dressed and go for a ride in Mommy's car. Say bye, Dad show. Bye, Dad show. Say bye, Dad show.
Bye, Dad show.
Mwah.
Twinkle.
Say this, Twinkle. I'm glad you can see it. All right, y'all have a good day. See ya.